Good evening. Welcome. I think I know all of you, so you know who I am. So we'll just dispense with that. The one thing I do want to say, other than welcome, and I'm really glad that you decided to come to this Kwanzaa celebration this evening, because it's a very, very special celebration, and I'm happy to do it here. And hope to make it a tradition of this spiritual community. And maybe we'll get more people coming out next year. I do want to say, however, that we have another very special celebration coming up on Sunday, where we will be doing the Burning Bowl ceremony, which is a way of releasing this year, 2024. And then we prepare to set an intention for 2025 with the White Stone ceremony. And so it's a really wonderful celebration of letting go and releasing what has been and opening up and embracing what is coming and what we're intending and envisioning individually and collectively. So that's at 11 o'clock, normal service time on Sunday. So I hope to see all of you for that. So let's just take a moment to get settled and centered. And if it feels comfortable for you, close your eyes. If not, maybe cast a gaze on a soft gaze on the flame of the candle behind me. And just take a deep breath in. And let that open your heart space, and release the breath and let your heart open even further. And just take this opportunity to allow yourself to settle into your chair. Imagine that it is the arms of Spirit lifting you, raising you up, holding you. And just settle in. Leave whatever has transpired before this moment. Leave it behind. You can pick it up on your way out if you want to. And just allow yourself to be fully present right here and right now in this now moment. For the now moment is the only moment we truly have to create what comes next. And so we leave the past behind. We await the future by being in the present moment, creating that future. And so much as we let this year go, we open to embrace the new year with consciousness and intention. And so just settle in and be here now in peacefulness, in grace, in love, in joy. Simply being present in the presence of Spirit and one another. And simply allow yourself to be who you truly are, in all of your humanness and all that is divine within and all around you. And so it is. So, Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa was founded in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karinga. He was a professor of African Studies at California State University. And Kwanzaa is neither political nor religious. It honors African American heritage and culture. It's not a substitute for Christmas. It's not Black Christmas. It's not Christmas at all. It's spiritual. It's joyous celebration of oneness and a positive way of life. It focuses on remembering, resurrecting, reassessing, reclaiming, rejuvenating, recommitting, reaffirming, rewarding, and rejoicing. All the principles of living that make living good. Kwanzaa is a Swahili word that means first fruits of the harvest. And there are 7 principles of Kwanzaa that honor the 7-day harvest celebration. So typically this celebration takes place, it starts on the 26th of December and ends on the 1st of January. And each night a candle is lit, gifts are given, and at the end is a big, huge feast, a feast of the harvest. We're going to condense all of that into one night. And I'm sorry, but there is no feast. So, I was not in charge of the food. And the gift is being here with each other. That is the gift for tonight. So the modern first fruits of the harvest is not really just about a season. It's really year-round. These principles of successful and spiritual living are something to be practiced year-round, not just during the harvest season, because there is a continuous sowing and reaping of thoughts planted in our minds and our souls that we can reap, and we reap whatever it is we sow. Sound a little familiar, right? And depending on what seeds we plant, we reap a new cycle of growth in either freedom in the present, or we get ourselves shackled to the past if we refuse to let it go. So choose consciously and plant seeds of a purposeful life and do it intentionally and consciously. Dorothy Winbush Riley wrote, Kwanzaa focuses on timeless universal truths, principles of faith, unity, imagination, purpose, love, and hope in the future. It has a profound and pervasive concern with values focused on family, community responsibility, commerce, and self-improvement. Kwanzaa was created to introduce and reinforce 7 basic values or principles which contribute to building and reinforcing self, family, community, humankind, and the integrity of our kinship with our environment. 7 is a sacred number in many cultures and spiritual traditions denoting truth, wisdom, perfection, understanding, and completion. These values serve to reinforce and enhance both individuals and community. The Kwanzaa principles, Nguzo Saba, which is Swahili for 7 principles. We're called to think deeply about our lives and about the world, how to respond to issues of our times ethically, effectively, equitably, and to commit to high ideals and values. We envision a world that we desire to live in. We commit to implement and practice these 7 principles of Nguzo Saba, the principles, the guidance for creating world-encompassing inclusive freedom and justice, dignity-affirming equality, and life-enhancing empowerment over one's destiny and daily life. Dorothy Winbush Riley goes on to say the 7 principles of Kwanzaa are unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. And so now, Nguzo Saba, the 7 spiritual and social guiding principles of Kwanzaa. And we start with principle 1, umoja, unity. We strive to maintain unity of family, community, nation, and humankind. I am we. I am because we are. All of life is interdependent, interconnected. We accomplish nothing without the help of others. Frederick Douglass said, "We are one. Our cause is one. We must help each other if we are to succeed." And there is no limitation when we are in oneness and unity with all of life. Unity nurtures respect, cooperation, harmony, and balance. Dr. Maulana Karinga wrote, "Surely in a world ravaged and ruined by war, defined by division, oppression, and varied forms of greed, hatred, and hostility, the principle of umoja, unity, invites a sense of solidarity, of peacefulness together as families, communities, and fellow human beings. It teaches us the oneness of people everywhere, the common ground of our humanity with others, and our shared status as possessors of dignity and divinity. but it is also encouraging us to feel at one with and in the world, to be constantly concerned about its health and wholeness, especially as we face the possibility of climate change and other disasters around the world. The proverb of this principle is, to be united is to be strong. To be united is to be strong. And the drums will play as I light the candle. Principle 2, Kujichagulia. That's a tough one, it's a big one. Kujichagulia, self-determination. Self-determination defines common interests, and it helps us to make decisions in the best interest of family and community. Dr. Howard Thurman wrote, each individual can become his dream when he no longer wishes, but knows. When he no longer hopes but accepts, when he no longer prays but announces, when he no longer expects but believes that it has already happened and finds his irreducible essence. So look within and discover your unique expression. Embrace the responsibility and freedom to be your authentic self. Give from your authenticity with your time, your talent, and your treasure to contribute to the community. Dr. Maulana Karinga taught, in a time in which occupation and oppression of countries and peoples are immorally present as necessary and even salvational, the principle of Kujichagulia, self-determination, rejects this and reaffirms the right of persons and peoples to determine their own destiny and their own daily lives, to live in peace and security, and to flourish in freedom everywhere. The proverb for this principle is, opportunity comes to those who know what they want. The third principle is ujima, collective work and responsibility. Collective work and responsibility reminds us of our obligation to the past, present, and future. We each have a role in community and in society and in the world. We build and maintain community together as brothers and sisters. Problems are our problems to solve together. Nelson Mandela wrote, our road to that glorious future lies through collective hard work to accomplish the objectives of creating a people-centered society. So we all work for the common good of all, and we serve with kindness and generosity, patience, tolerance, cooperation, compassion. We help each other succeed individually and as a community. We're called to be a daily point of light, to make a positive difference in the world. Dr. Maulana Karinga writes this, the principle of ujima, collective work and responsibility, teaches us the necessary and compelling commitment to work together to conceive and build the good community, society, and world we want and deserve to live in. And this means cooperatively repairing and renewing the world. The proverb for this principle is, one head does not go into council. The fourth principle, Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Cooperative economics, what a concept. Cooperative economics emphasizes collective economic strength and encourages mutual support to meet common needs and goals. So it's not about, I got mine, too bad you didn't get yours. It's about cooperation so that we all can thrive and prosper. Whoopi Goldberg said, the work of human beings is to watch out for one another. We support each other to manifest our dreams and visions. We focus not just on ourselves, but on others and on the greater good of all. That's what we're called to do. We contribute to the purposeful flow of abundance of every nature for the entire community, not just for ourselves. Dr. Maulana Karinga wrote, in a world where greed, resource seizure, and plunder have globalized with maximum technological and military power, we must uphold the principle and practice of Ujamaa, cooperative economics, or shared work and wealth. This principle reaffirms the right to control and benefit from the resources of one's own lands and to an equitable and a just share of the goods of the world. The proverb for this principle is, if you are not there to work, your share of the harvest will not be there either. Principle number 5, Nia, purpose. Nia. Purpose encourages us to look within, to ourselves, and to set personal goals beneficial not only to ourselves, but also to the community. Collective vocation helps us in building and developing our community, which is our strength. Benjamin Mays wrote, everyone is born into the world to do something unique and something distinctive. And if he or she does not do it, it will never be done. We are each created on purpose, with a unique purpose, each one of us, and with all of this, the things that are necessary for us to fulfill that purpose. We're supported by the universe, by spirit, to fulfill our purpose and call. Our purpose guides our decisions and our choices, and gives our life direction, focus, meaning. Catch the vision of your purpose, believe in it, set goals, plan for it, and follow through. Focus your purpose to not only benefit yourself, but also to benefit the community and humanity. Dr. Maulana Karinga taught, in a world where there is an urgent need to move beyond petty and perverse purposes and narrow and narcissistic concerns, the principle and practice of Nia, purpose, provides us with an expansive ethical alternative, for it teaches us the collective vocation of bringing increasing and sustaining good to the world and ensuring the well-being, health, and wholeness of the world. The proverb for the principle Nia is, service is the very purpose of life, not something we do in our spare time. The sixth principle is kuumba, creativity. Creativity employs our creative energies to build and maintain strong and vibrant community. We must always do what we can to leave the community better than when we found it. We become what we imagine ourselves to be. We let our imagination flow freely and powerfully and abundantly. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Potential powers of creativity are within us, and we have the duty to work assiduously to discover those powers." Creativity is the soul of each person. It is the soul of people, the soul of community. Talent, imagination, and creativity transcend limits, and they move the invisible vision into the visible actuality. Imagination brings our dreams and our desires into view, and creativity guides our choices and our decisions, and it directs our actions, bringing our dreams and visions into manifestation. Dr. Maulana Karinga wrote, "In a world where war lays waste the lands and lives of the people, where depletion, pollution, and plunder of the environment put the world at risk, and climate change threatens devastating hurricanes, floods, famine, millions more of refugees, and the submersion by rising seas of whole communities and nations, the principle and practice of kuumba, creativity, is imperative, for it puts forth the ethical, ancestral teaching of the moral obligation to do all we can in the way that we can to heal, to repair, to rebuild, and to renew the world, leaving it more beautiful and beneficial than what we inherited." The proverb for this principle of kuumba, creativity, is, "A man who has no imagination has no wings." The seventh principle, imani, faith. Faith honors traditions. It draws out the best in ourselves and helps us to reach for a higher level of life for humanity, a higher level of consciousness. Faith affirms our self-worth, our confidence, our ability to succeed and triumph. And it supports our belief in spirit, in self, and in others, in the leaders, and in our world. St. Augustine taught, "Faith is to believe what we do not see, and the reward of this faith is to see what we believe." Faith is our deepest belief in our connection with Spirit, the source of all good. It is knowing that Spirit works in and through and as us. When we have the faith of God in ourselves, others, and life, then faith overcomes all fears, doubts, lack, and limitation. Faith molds our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs, and our actions, and it shapes and directs our creative energy and catapults us beyond conditions into the harvest of our intended future. Dr. Maulana Karinga taught, "Finally, in our world and time when words of hope and change evaporate into business as usual, when peace is postponed for war, social programs put on hold, bankers bailed out, and the poor erased from the agenda, imani, faith, offers a shield against despair, cynicism, and paralyzing disappointment. Faith calls us to believe in the good we seek to create, to work for it, and to live it in our daily lives. Indeed, only in this way will we be able to repair and renew ourselves in the process and practice of repairing and rebuilding and renewing our world." The proverb for this principle of imani, faith, is, "What you have seen, you know. What you have not seen, you must believe in faith." living from the universal Kwanzaa principles of unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith yields a bountiful harvest for individuals, and it builds strong, supportive, enduring community, both local and global. Center for Spiritual Living Asheville would be wise to employ Kwanzaa principles with our Science of Mind principles to become a beacon shining into the 21st century with possibility. As Dr. Maulana Karinga teaches us, in the spirit of the steadfast faith of our ancestors, let us meditate on and give ever deeper meaning and actual practice to this Kwanzaa wish of good and prayerful request of our ancestors. May we speak truth and do justice everywhere. May we always evaluate rightfully and not act in disregard of the sacred and the people. May we enter praised and leave loved wherever we go. May our speech be wholesome and without blame or injury to others. May we reject evil and embrace joy. May we live a lifetime of peace. And may we pass in peace, having brought good into the world. Heriza Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa to each and all of you. And blessings on your journey in this new year. And may your life embrace and be blessed by the universal principles and spirit of Kwanzaa. And together we say, and so it is. Before I go any further, I want to thank Lou and Breezy. You have no idea how hard it was not to jump in and play drums, but I just had hand surgery, so that's not happening. But it's hard, yeah, I can do one-handed, one-handed drumming. So I just want to take a moment to do sort of a closing, a good word, a benediction. And then just to let you know that we gratefully accept your love offering. Margot will be at the door with the basket, so on your way out, if you will grace us with your prosperity, we would appreciate it. And so let's just take this moment to breathe in those principles of Kwanzaa and know that that is a way of life. It is not a one-time thing. It is a way of living. Much as we say that we are about spiritual living, I can't think of any other principles besides our Science of Mind principles that speak to spiritual living, a way of life, as these Kwanzaa principles do. And so we embrace these principles, and we live these principles, and we create a life for ourselves and for our community and for our world that is effective, that is equitable, that is inclusive, that is all about being and doing the right thing for the greater good of all. And we benefit individually and collectively in community, in the community of humankind. And for this realization of the truth and our willingness to live in, through, and as that truth in all that we think, say, and do, we be the principles of Kwanzaa. And together we say, and so it is. So I'm going to have these guys drum just a little bit more. And I invite you all to talk with each other, connect.